Hello there and welcome to PlayStation's Crossbar show, your home of everything FIFA and football related. Whether you're a hardcore FIFA player or a FIFA esports fan, we have got you covered over the duration of today's episode. My name is Brandon Smith and as always, joining me for another episode of Crossbar, it is that man Richard Buckley. We're back for another month. Richard, how are you, mate? It's been a while.
I'm doing very good, thank you, Brandon. I'm a year older, a year wiser since the last episode of Crossbar. Leveled up to 23 years of age. FIFA talent hasn't quite started regressing yet. I'm not to that age where my reflexes are going as of yet, so still hitting those elite finishes and enjoying my FIFA.
I was going to say belated happy birthday from myself, and I'm sure all the viewers here at Crossbar, Richard, and we hope you had a brilliant day. But let's think about today's episode of Crossbar. We have got news as always for you. We're going to be speaking about the world of FIFA esports and then wrapping out today with Rich's tips. So if you're enjoying this sort of videos and these sort of content, make sure you stay tuned because we have got you covered over the course of today's episode. And without any further ado, I think it's time to jump into the news. Well, Richard, I'll pass this one over to you. Obviously, this is our new segment in the Crossbar show. We talk about everything that's been happening in the world of FIFA Ultimate Team and what has been happening in the world of foot.
It's been a relatively slow time in terms of Ultimate Team recently. In regards to promos, I think the last promo that we had was the What If promo, but right now we're sort of in the icon era, I shall call it. We've had the recent Prime Icon moments, which we covered on the last episode of Crossbar, and now we're starting to see those icon moments trickled in to the SBCs. We've had 3 sets of SBCs so far. This was the first set with Carlos Puyol, Nedved, and also Patrick Kluivert. Kluivert got the weak foot upgrade, one of the only players alongside Michael Owen to get a weak foot upgrade. All 3 of these sort of good but not outstanding players. I saw quite a few people doing Puyol for the simple price. He was relatively cheap, coming at about 350 to 400,000 coins on the market. But all 3 of these, I think you can pick up tradable for a relatively similar price. And me personally, I would stay away from these 3 SBCs. We are going to get better Prime Icon moments as the year goes on. The second set of SBCs that came out in the Prime Icon moments featured one of the better players that we've seen so far, and that was Michael Ballack. 83 pace, great shooting, great passing and dribbling, and decent defending and physical as well. We also got Rui Costa and Schmeichel. Schmeichel, again, coming in at the lower end of sort of 400 to 350,000 coins. Michael Ballack, a very usable foot icon, but again, his tradable price on the market similar to the SBC, so I would swerve clear of these 3. And the final set, we've finally got sort of an end game top tier meta icon, and that's Gianluca Zambrotta. You can see his foot item there, incredible pace just across the board for a defender, and you can also play him centre back. He's coming in right now about 1.1 million coins on the transfer market. As for Makelele and Ian Wright, both good players, but they have sort of frailties. With Ian Wright, it's the weak foot and skill moves as an attacking player. For Makelele, low dribbling and also terrible shooting from your centre mid / CDM. So out of all 9 icons that we've seen so far, I would probably say Zambrotta is the best. However, at 1.1 million coins for an untradeable, I would still say keep hold of your coins, keep hold of your fodder, and wait for a better set of icons to come out.
Yeah, you've heard it there from Richard Buckley, his take on those new icons that have dropped into the game. I mean, I saw lots of Puyol in your standard weekend league because I think it was very attainable, wasn't it, for a lot of people to pick up. Schmeichel, we've seen a lot of him in goal in the Pro FIFA that we get to commentate on. But you say Zambrotta as your number 1 pick. In second place, who would it be? Is it a difficult choice to pick like a top 2?
I mean, out of the 9 available, I think you've got a couple that are sort of level pegging. Ballack and maybe Schmeichel, but for the most part I would say keep hold of your fodder. The inflation price is pushing these icons up right now. When we get a promo and when packs are released back onto the store, promo packs, the fodder price in terms of 83s, 84s and 85s will come down, meaning that these icons will be slightly cheaper to complete if you've got your eyes on one.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Thank you very much for that, Richard. So that is everything that's been happening in the world of foot. I mean, let's turn our heads and our attentions, I should say, to the PlayStation Open Series. If you're not aware of the PlayStation Open Series, I mean, Richard, what can you say about it? It's a great opportunity to really put yourself to the test. And if you play well, there's some decent prizes on the line, isn't there?
It's an opportunity to get your ladder on sort of the first run to becoming a FIFA pro. It's the best opportunity. You can completely free to play at home. Just simply go to compete.playstation.com. That's compete.playstation.com. Sign up, link your accounts, and it's literally easy as that. You just find the tournaments tab and you get competing. There's competitions all over the world. There's head-to-head with online friendlies. There's also Ultimate Team tournaments taking place. You can earn avatars, in-game currency, and also some incredible prize money every single month. It's the perfect opportunity to get a taste for what these FIFA pros are going through.
Yeah, definitely indeed. As you said, there's tournaments pretty much daily on there, on FIFA Ultimate Team, on head-to-head, sort of that original seasons vibe as well. So if you like sort of both of that and you fancy testing yourself, get yourselves involved. As Richard said, compete.playstation.com. Sign up today and get yourselves involved in the Open Series. I think, well, that's about a wrap for the news segment of today's show. Let's move on to the competition recap. Of course, this is our competitive recap now. Of course, if you don't know, me and Richard as well are FIFA esports commentators. We literally commentate on FIFA for a living, and we commentate on so much FIFA. And at the moment, Richard, it feels like we've got tournaments here, there, and everywhere daily at the moment. And there's been so much happening. I mean, let's kick it off with Europe first, because there was a big headline there on the PlayStation, wasn't there?
There was indeed. The first player in Europe to go back-to-back event wins. This was the most recent tournament with Levi de Weed. No, it's not deja vu. He won again. Very similar reaction, and just an incredible feat when you consider those 1,118 people who tried qualifying for this event, and he has been the #1 player 2 months in a row. It's a remarkable feat.
Oh, ridiculous stuff. I think over 1,118 competitors signed up for that PlayStation tournament, and he was the #1 ranked player back-to-back months from the Dutch player. And we must say as well, he started out on the PlayStation Open Series, so if that doesn't give you motivation, I don't know what will. Only 16 years of age as well, but it wasn't just that happening in in European, I should say. There was also some FIFA happening in South America. And I mean, we talk about Levi de Weed and getting all these headlines. There's a man that deserves more headlines on the PlayStation right now, Rich, and he goes by the name of Matthias Bonanno, because he has been playing some remarkable FIFA this year.
Qualified for all 4 of the brackets, shall we say, in South America, meaning that he's got to the latter stage of every single competition. But he's not only got to the broadcast phase, he has won 3 out of 4. And you just see the reaction. It's a shrug at the shoulders. He's like, yeah, I've won again. No reaction. You saw Levi de Weed. He was having a party in his setup. Matthias Bonanno, he's so relaxed. He knows that he is good in this region. He knows that he's the best in this region. Sip of the water, business as usual for Matthias Bonanno.
It must also be said as well, he's playing his FIFA for Crew Esports. That's Sergio Aguero, yes, the Manchester City Strikers' own esports organisation, having a fly of the year. And it's not just success in the Global Series for him. He's had success in the CONMEBOL eLibertadores. If you don't know what that is, the huge football event normally, the CONMEBOL Libertadores, went onto the virtual pitch for the very first time this year. And Richard, as expected, he went and won that as well, didn't he?
Yeah, there's some great names in that tournament as well. Zizinho, who we've had on this actual podcast, Brandon, he was there, and Matthias Bonanno just dispatching of everyone in front of him. Not only the winner of qualifier number 4, but also the CONMEBOL eLibertadores champion.
Yeah, not only just, of course, European and South America. The Global Series has been worldwide this year, so turning our attentions now to Oceania, where there's been lots of storylines and lots of headlines, and a man that lost on a penalty shootout just 1 month ago, DW Dillon, bouncing back, Richard, to pick up his first major trophy of the year, alongside the E-Club World Cup, we must say as well. Dillon of Dire Wolves was able to win that grand final against Naylor out in Australia.
Yeah, he won the Club World Cup first, and then this sort of gave him a lot of confidence coming into this particular qualifier. I listened to a couple of the interviews that Dillon was giving, and basically just said if he plays at his best on his day, nobody can beat him in this region. And that's the confidence that you need. That's the confidence of a champion. You can see what it means to him as well. Absolutely in tears almost was Dylan when he was successful. Great scenes and another deserved winner.
Yeah, and there's more to talk about as well. There's North America to talk about as well. And if you are familiar with PlayStation's finest FIFA players, you'll know this man, Joksan, Complexity's Joksan. I mean, before he was good, Richard, he's come out flying on FIFA 21. He's picked up 1, 2, 3 wins in a row, back to back. And on top of that, the E-Club World Cup. He has been playing some incredible stuff this year.
No, he really has been. And sort of impossible feats made possible that Joksan is doing right now. 3 back-to-back wins, the FIFA E-Club World Cup as well, and really the question remains, when all these players come together, whether that be the FIFA E-World Cup grand final later in the year, what is going to happen? What's going to give when you have Joksan against Matthias Bonanno? You throw maybe hashtag Tom in the mix with Levi de Weed. It's going to be a fascinating couple of months closing out the end of the FIFA 21 season.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable stuff from Joksan, as you said. It's New York City Chris as well, who keeps getting to those finals. He's just gone and made it 3 out of 3 in the EMLS for, of course, the first ever E-Champions League winner, New York City Chris. Just comes unstuck, though, against Joksan. We got a little bit of a treat for you here on Crossbar, Richard. A treat for you as well. I actually spoke to Joksan just a couple of days back to find out everything about this year in the FIFA 21 season, why he's been playing so well, and, of course, that recent E-Club World Cup victory. So take a seat back and check this out. I'm delighted to be joined by Complexity's Joksan now, who joins me for a very quick interview to talk about this year in general. Such an unbelievable year the man is having. Top on the PlayStation rankings right now. 3 tournaments in his sort of arsenal. He's been able to win the E-Club World Cup as well. So an unbelievable start to the year. Joksan, thank you very much for taking the time to join me. How are you, mate? And talk to me. You must be over the moon right now with this start to the season.
Hey Brandon, how's it going? Yeah, I'm pretty happy, man. I've won 4 out of 4 tournaments so far in FIFA 21. You can say that this game really fits my style, and I've been playing pretty well. And obviously, like, I'm really happy that I've been able to like win all tournaments that I played in.
No, definitely. I mean, first and foremost, how have you adapted this year? Because as we know, the global series has been online. There hasn't been the traveling and being at the same events as each other. How have you adapted? Because for you, it doesn't look like any different. It's the same Joksan that we see year after year, who's so good.
I mean, at the beginning, I was a little bit sad that I wasn't going to be able to travel and see everyone at the events. But then, I realized that it is what it is. COVID happened and all the tournaments are going to be online. So I just try to like do my best in every tournament that I can. And yeah, like so far it's been working out great. Obviously, like I'm in first place. And yeah, I just adapted really well to like playing online tournaments. I feel like before my weakness was playing online tournaments, but I've adapted pretty well to like playing in this like online conditions.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that goes without saying as well, you've always been a strong player in North America. There's obviously some big names in there, alongside New York City Chris, who you've played in many finals already this year. Just on top of that, just on a quick question is, have you enjoyed playing against the fellow North American players, just to give you that extra bit of confidence to say, you know what, I am the best around me in my own region? And on the flip side of that, surely you must miss playing against all the other regions in normal tournaments, and you must be looking forward to, hopefully, a FIFA E-World Cup in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed playing everyone, but I'm gonna tell you that it's really hard playing against these North American players because they know what I do already. They know how I play. So whenever I play someone, you say like Alanavi, that I practice with them all the time, or when I play Diddy, that I play against him like all the time, it's really hard because we know each other. We know how we play, and of course I miss playing. Going to the Foot Champions Cups and playing the best players in the world. Like, I don't know, like right now that Levy is playing amazing, and Ollie Wally, hashtag Tom, all these good players, and yeah, I miss playing against them and playing against like the best players in the world.
I mean, you're obviously going to be at those playoffs now, whatever happens. You're number 1 ranked on the PlayStation. Are you looking forward to hopefully there being a FIFA E-World Cup in the future? Because I think that's hopefully, of course, COVID time's in front of us right now, but fingers crossed that'll be the first time where we'll actually get to see different regions play against different regions. We don't know when that'll be or where it will be, but fingers crossed maybe there'll be a FIFA E-World Cup in the future.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited. If I do well in playoffs, I get a ticket to the FIFA E-World Cup. So I'm really hoping that happens and I get to play against the best players in the world. I miss seeing like all these players and playing everyone. So it would be fun times if it actually happens. I'm hoping it does.
I mean, last but not least, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that play this game to a much more of a casual sort of level that watch the Crossbar shows as well that me and Richard do. What advice would you give to someone out there that maybe wants to get better at FIFA? Is there 1 or 2 tips that you can do that are a simple tip? Because you must get this question asked you all of the time.
I mean, to have patience, you know, a lot of people play FUT Champions or play FIFA like casually, and if you want to get better, you need to practice a lot and be patient. And yeah, like, do not expect to go from Gold 2 to Elite 1 in 1 week. It's gonna take some time, and if you want to get better, it's always good to practice and watch the pros play on the tournaments.
Well, as we know as well, just before we leave you, Joksan, there's 2 more tournaments coming up. You've already got the E-Club World Cup in your bag. You've got 3 out of 3 tournaments in North America. Are you expecting to make it a clean sweep, 5 out of 5 before the playoffs?
You know, I'm already 3 for 3, man. So I'm hoping I go 5 for 5. You know, I'm already 60% done. So why not? Let's get it all.
Amazing stuff. Again, Complexity's Joksan joining me for a very quick interview. Mate, fingers crossed I get to see you at the eWorld Cup final. But if not, stay safe and keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. You've heard it from Complexity's Joksan, the man that sits #1 ranked on the PlayStation North America. And I mean, for a man that's so good, always just so calm and chilled out, Richard, he's just won 3 out of 3 major tournaments and an E-Club World Cup. And you heard it in his own words, he wants all 5 of them.
I mean, he's got no reason to be sort of stressed, has he? He's cruising this region right now. And I think some of the interesting things that he talked about there, just... it almost feels like this is the perfect game for him. It's the perfect fit. You've got the confidence of Joksan with a game that matches everything that he is good at in FIFA. He is going to be a very hard player to stop.
Yeah, definitely indeed. As always, we'll keep you up to date with what is happening in the world of FIFA esports in our competitive recap. But that will do us for this time round on today's episode of Crossbar. So without any further ado, I think it's time for another one of Richard's tips. Let's go. Well, my favourite time of the show, because the man next to me gets to share some FIFA knowledge. Richard, what have you got for us this week?
Well, in previous weeks and months, I've talked about gameplay, I've talked about SBCs, even squad reviews. But this week, we're taking a step back. We're going all the way back to the objectives tab, and in particular, the milestone objectives. This is a sort of area of the game that a lot of people forget about, but there's some incredible FIFA in-game items that are available in the milestones tab. So I've compiled a couple of minutes to talk you through what milestones you want to be looking at, how they are so good, and why you should pay a little bit more attention to these objectives. That is right. Richard's tips, another week, and we're taking a few steps back. We've talked about gameplay, we've talked about SBCs, but this week we're going to look at the objectives tab, and in particularly, we're going to be looking at the milestones objectives. So this is something that you might have overlooked in FIFA 21, and specifically the players that are available in the milestones objectives. So as you can see right now on my account, we've got St. Patrick's Day Squad Foundations, EFL Squad Foundations 2, Eredivisie Foundations 2, Eredivisie 1, EFL Championship 1, and MLS Squad Foundations 1. And the reason that I'm showing you these particular objectives is the milestones objectives never expire. So you can do these objectives at your own pace. There's absolutely no rush. But also, especially with the second batch, there's some very usable FUT items available. So you might just scroll through these on a random day of FIFA and only see the group rewards. However, there are some incredible players for the individual rewards. As you can see, we've just jumped into EFL Championship Squad Foundations 2 here, and Henry, the left back, 94 pace, 83 dribbling, 80 passing, 80 defending, and 81 physical, for just scoring 12 finesse goals in the live FUT friendly managerial masterpiece with 11 championship players. All you got to do is score 12. For playing 18 matches, you get an 85 rated Lerma. For completing the set, you get an 86 rated Buendia. You might have done Wayne Rooney's SBC. Looking at the St. Patrick's Day, Connolly, the Brighton striker, you get Horgan, the player from Wycombe Wanderers, for scoring 10, and you get Jeff Hendrick for playing 14. These are incredible players that you can get for absolutely free. They don't cost you a penny. All you need is a little bit of time. Do them at your own pace, and let me know if any of them squad foundation players come into your FIFA 21 Ultimate Team.
Well, there you go. That's another one of Rich's tips there. And again, interesting to have a look at that. As a fellow Brighton fan myself, you spoke heavily about Aaron Connolly, a certain striker for us. I've been using him in a recent weekend league. And I can tell you now, Richard, he's actually very, very decent. So he's worth doing. I mean, any other sort of big standout players you'd say from that short video?
Yeah, I think Gravenberch as well. He was available in the Eredivisie Squad Foundation, #1 in those milestone objectives. Super easy to do as well. I think just score 14, or it might have been 10 goals actually, in fact, to unlock Gravenberch, and I still actually use him in my team right now.
There you go. You've heard it from Richard, and I think that's a great time to pause today's episode of Crossbar. We've spoken about everything in terms of the world of FIFA Ultimate Team and the news around there, which icons you should look to try and complete in those SBCs. We've spoken about the Open Series. We've recapped the world of FIFA esports, winners from all over the globe at the moment, and there's still plenty more to come. We'll do our best to keep you updated on that. And then we end, as always, with my favourite part of the show, from Richard's tips. And that is a perfect time to call today's episode a wrap. That has been Richard Buckley next to me for another episode of Crossbar. I've been Brandon Smith. And of course, until next time, stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you very soon in another episode of Crossbar. Until next time, bye-bye.
PlayStation